Part 1, The Black Echo Asterisk. It started with the sound, a hollow, mournful echo that reverberated through the hull of the Starbound Adventurer Asterisk, my pride and joy, my 3-decade-old freighter with more patchwork repairs than original parts. When the sound first hit, my hands were deep in the guts of the auxiliary engine, trying to coax the stubborn beast back into operation. It was deep, resonant, like the universe had dropped a forgotten key in the cosmic stairwell. It vibrated through my bones in a way that was both tantalizing and terrifying. Sounds like the universe is trying to sing your half-dead ship a lullaby, Captain, Kyra quipped over the intercom, her voice dripping with that unmistakable mix of sass and concern. She had been my co-pilot and best friend since the days when we were both young enough to think we could change the galaxy. "If it's a lullaby, I'm not sticking around for the nap," I muttered, wiping grease from my fingers and climbing the narrow ladder to the cockpit. My ship might look like a collection of rust held together by duct tape and wishful thinking, but it had heart, more than I could say for most of the new sleek models that dotted the stars. Kyra spun her chair around, her dark eyes sparking with curiosity. The scanners picked up something massive out there just beyond the Kuiper Anomaly, some kind of structure. A thrill shot through me. I'd been chasing rumors about this sector for months, looking for the source of what the locals called the Black Echo. Perhaps a remnant of an ancient race, or a ship graveyard from an era long forgotten. Either way, it promised more adventure than our usual cargo runs. "How massive?" I asked, already plotting routes in my head. "Massive enough to be a perfect hideout for pirates, or worse," she replied, a hint of warning in her tone. "But it's not on any of the charts." I leaned over her shoulder, peering at the display. There it was, a titanic silhouette looming against the void, shrouded in a cloak of gentle darkness. I felt an odd pull towards it, like gravity but more intimate. "Let's take a peek," I said, unable to resist the allure of the unknown. "You know, sometimes I think you're going to get us both killed just to satisfy your curiosity," she said, shaking her head with a smile. "There's no one I'd rather risk it with," I replied sincerely. Besides, whatever this thing was, it wasn't going to explore itself. As we approached, the structure revealed itself to be a colossal ring, rotating lazily against the velvet backdrop of space. I couldn't help but feel a surge of awe. It dwarfed any station I'd ever seen, an ancient, silent sentinel lost to time. "Welcome to the mystery of the millennium," Kyra murmured, her voice tinged with reverence. The scanners went haywire, overwhelmed by the myriad signals bouncing off the structure's surface. It was like trying to read the mind of a god. "Systems are struggling with the interference," she said. "We're flying blind the closer we get." "Then we'll walk in with eyes wide open," I said, unable to resist a grin. Our approach was cautious but steady, the asterisk Starbound Adventurer weaving through the sprawling expanse of the ring. And then, as we drew closer, something unexpected happened. The comms crackled to life with a voice that was distinctly not human. "Identify," it commanded, in a tone as smooth as polished stone, radiating authority. Captain Cal Morrow of the asterisk Starbound Adventurer asterisk," I replied, caught off guard. I wasn't expecting an interstellar welcoming committee. "Purpose of visit?" the voice asked, sounding almost bored. Was it an automated system or something else entirely? "Exploration," I said quickly. "We're here to, explore with no hostile intent." There was a pause, heavy and laden with possibilities. "Access granted," the voice finally said. A section of the structure ahead shimmered and parted as if responding to an unspoken command. "Was that a good idea?" Kyra asked, her skepticism palpable. "Too late to turn back now," I said, adrenaline surging as we maneuvered into the opening, the ship settling into the structure like a puzzle piece. Upon entering, we were greeted by a massive chamber, illuminated by threads of light that crisscrossed like veins through a darkened stone. The architecture was alien, but there was a cold beauty to its symmetry and design. "Captain," Kyra said sharply, "I'm getting life signs." "Where?" I asked, my heart rate spiking. "Everywhere," she replied, her voice tinged with disbelief. Before I could respond, I felt a presence, a sensation of being observed by a myriad of unseen eyes. And then they appeared, creatures unlike anything in our records. They were not humanoid, but instead a flowing amalgamation of metallic filaments and light. They moved with fluid grace, their forms shifting and morphing with unimaginable elegance. Part of the structure itself, I wondered aloud, amazed. Kyra shook her head, as astounded as I was. "Maybe, but they're alive, I can feel it." "Welcome to the heart of the Black Echo," the same voice from the comms announced, this time without the static. A figure emerged from the shadows, tall and regal, exuding an aura of ancient wisdom. "Who are you?" I asked, feeling a peculiar blend of awe and trepidation. "I am called Kithel," it said, its voice resonating through the chamber. "Custodian of the Echo, keeper of its secrets." The magnitude of the situation hit me like a wave. We had stumbled upon something profound, something that could shift the balance of everything we knew. And what secrets would those be? I ventured, my pulse quickening. Kithel's response was a sound, low and resonant, echoing through the expanse with an intensity that was tangible. "The secrets of time itself," it replied. I glanced at Kyra, whose expression mirrored my own disbelief and excitement. We were on the cusp of a discovery that defied comprehension. But as the echoes faded, a new sound emerged, the unmistakable whine of ships' engines. Not ours. "Incoming vessels," Kyra warned, her hands flying over the controls. A swarm of ships, sleek and predatory, swept into the chamber, their intentions clear. Pirates drawn by the same lure that had pulled us here. "I hope you've got a plan, Captain," Kyra said dryly, even as her fingers danced over the weapon's console. "Keep them busy," I replied with a wry grin. "I'll think of something." As the Starbound Adventurer sprang into action, evading enemy fire with agile grace, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. The secrets of the Black Echo had awakened, and the universe would never be the same again. We were in for the ride of our lives, and frankly, I couldn't wait to see where it took us. Part 2: The Secrets Within. The Starbound Adventurer danced through the chaos, a clumsy yet determined beast dodging fire from the pirate ships that swarmed like vultures. Explosions painted the massive chamber with bursts of fiery color, casting shadows that played across the alien architecture. Kyra was a portrait of calm amidst the storm, her eyes focused, hands steady. "Shields are holding, but I can't make any promises for long," she said, a hint of urgency creeping into her voice. "I'll take what I can get," I replied, teeth clenched as I scanned the readouts for something, anything, that could give us an edge. Kithel, the ethereal custodian of this enigmatic megastructure, watched us with unsettling tranquility. It seemed unperturbed by the violence erupting around us, as if this was nothing but a brief disturbance in its eternal vigil. "Can't you do something?" I shouted over the din, hoping that the Keeper of Time might have a trick up its non-existent sleeve. "There are protocols that must be followed," Kithel replied enigmatically, the calm of its voice a stark contrast to the urgency of our situation. "Typical," I muttered, wishing for once that things would go smoothly. But then, where's the fun in that? As another blast rocked the ship, something on the console lit up, a schematic glimmered into existence, showing pathways within the structure. It was as if the echo itself was offering guidance, a gesture of unlikely alliance. "Kyra, look, an escape route," I said, pointing at the screen. "If we follow this tunnel, it might just get us out of harm's way." She nodded, eyes darting to the path the echo had revealed. "It's risky, but staying here isn't exactly a vacation." With a deft touch, she maneuvered the ship toward the opening, a narrow passage that seemed to pulse with its own kind of energy. The pirate ships followed, relentless in their pursuit, but the structure's labyrinthine design soon swallowed us whole, leaving them to navigate its confounding twists and turns. The passage wound deeper into the echo, and the oppressive weight of the pursuit gradually lifted. Here, away from the hostile ships, the atmosphere changed, becoming charged with a strange serenity. Lights flickered along the walls in rhythmic patterns, creating a symphony of luminescent pulses. "Almost feels like the place is alive," Kyra mused, glancing around with a mixture of trepidation and wonder. "Maybe it is," I replied, though it felt more like a whisper borrowed from the depths of a dream. Our journey took us to a cavernous chamber, its ceiling arching high above, lined with innumerable filaments that glowed in the dim light. At its center stood a monolith, ancient runes etched into its surface, telling stories of time immemorial. Kithel followed us, its presence like a ghostly shadow. "This is the heart of the echo," it announced, "the cradle of its power." I approached the monolith, drawn by an inexplicable allure. As my hand hovered near its surface, a cascade of sensations overwhelmed me, sights, sounds, emotions not my own. It was as if the essence of epics was flooding through my consciousness. In that moment, I glimpsed a vision of cosmic beauty, of civilizations rising and falling, of stars birthing and dying in a dance as old as time. My breath caught as I realized the enormity of the knowledge stored within this place, the weight of ages resting in the depths of my mind. "Cal," Kyra's voice broke through the reverie, anchoring me to the present. "I'm okay," I assured her, though the hollow echo of time still reverberated within me. "But this isn't just a structure, it's a repository, a living archive." Kithel inclined its head, a gesture of acknowledgement. "The echo holds the memory of the universe. It is both a witness and a recorder." I couldn't help but feel humbled in its presence. And then a question bubbled to the surface, unavoidable in its implication. "But why? Why open this to us?" "Because you have the potential to understand it," Kithel replied, "and because time has chosen you." The words lingered, heavy with meaning. I exchanged a glance with Kyra, whose expression mirrored my own incredulity. Before we could delve further, an alarm blared, jarring us back to reality. It was the ship's proximity alert, and it was something neither of us wanted to hear. "Pirates found another way in," Kyra announced, her voice tense. "They're inside the echo now." I cursed under my breath, the fragility of our reprieve shattered. "All right, let's play a new game of cat and mouse," I said, gripping the controls with renewed resolve. As we rushed back toward the ship, I couldn't shake the feeling that the echo itself was willing us to succeed, to protect its secrets from those who would exploit them. Kithel remained in the chamber, a silent guardian, its luminescent eyes offering a final, inscrutable farewell. Once aboard, we sped through the tunnels, the echoes. Intricate passageways providing a maze of protection. The pirates were relentless, but they lacked our understanding of the living structure's pathways. "Time to even the odds," I said, my voice tinged with determination. "Kyra, let's see if this old girl still has some fight left." With newfound vigor, the Starbound Adventurer roared to life, skimming the walls of the maze as we wove through the labyrinth, the pirates in hot pursuit. For every twist they anticipated, we found a new route, each turn a gamble that kept us inches ahead. But the real miracle was the echo itself, whose pathways seemed to shift in our favor, redirecting the ill-intentioned intruders into dead ends and loops. "Looks like we've got someone watching our back," Kyra chuckled, the thrill of our escape bleeding into her voice. As we neared the exit, a final volley of fire erupted behind us, but we were ready. The shields flared, absorbing the impact, and then we were through, bursting into the open void. "We did it," I breathed, the enormity of the moment settling over me. "Don't you dare act surprised," Kyra laughed, relief and exhilaration blending in her tone. "I had faith in your reckless genius." The pirate ships, thwarted and disoriented by the Echo's defenses, vanished into the horizon, leaving us victorious and alive against all odds. As we set course away from the Echo, a message pinged on our console, a simple glyph, ancient and cryptic. A final gift from Kithel, a promise of the secrets yet to be revealed. "We'll be back," I vowed softly, knowing that our journey with the Black Echo had only just begun. As the stars stretched into infinity, the mysteries of the universe awaited. And this time, we knew exactly where to start looking. Part 3: The Celestial Conundrum. As the Starbound Adventurer glided through the cosmic tapestry beyond the Echo, its engines humming a familiar lullaby, the glow of alien lights and the rush of near escapes began to fade into the background noise of routine. But a new question lingered, heavy and unrelenting. Where to next? "Captain, you're awfully silent for someone who just outmaneuvered half a dozen pirate ships," Kyra teased, her fingers deftly working the controls. "I was expecting at least a song and dance." "I'm saving that for tomorrow," I replied, feigning nonchalance. In truth, my mind was a whirl of possibilities and half-formed plans. The glyph's mystery from Kithel danced in my thoughts, an unsolved puzzle that beckoned with promises of revelation. Our journey soon brought us to a station orbiting a gas giant, a speck of civilization in the vast emptiness. It was a place for refueling, repairs, and perhaps a few whispers about whatever the Echo had to offer. We docked without incident, the airlock hissing open to reveal a bustling hub of activity. The station was a cacophony of sound and color, merchants hawking exotic goods amidst the steady clinking of tools from the shipyard. The smell of fried something filled the air, pungent, yet strangely comforting. "Home sweet halfway home," Kyra said, stretching as she stepped onto the platform. "What's the plan?" "First, we fix the damage," I said, gesturing to our ship. "Then, see if anyone's got a bead on strange glyphs or cosmic whispers." "I'll start with the repairs," she volunteered, heading toward the nearest mechanic. "I trust your silver tongue will handle the whispers." As I wandered through the station, scanning the colorful and chaotic crowd, I couldn't help but smile at the familiarity of it all. Every patch of space had its own rhythm, its own quirks. This one had a heartbeat that pulsed with the energy of 1,000 stories colliding in shared air. A grizzled trader caught my eye, his booth adorned with a mishmash of artifacts and tech. "You look like someone with an eye for the unusual," he called out, a twinkle in his eye that suggested he had seen more than his fair share of oddities. "Depends on the kind of unusual," I said, stepping closer. His wares ranged from the mundane to the mysterious, a tapestry of forgotten eras laid out in hopes of catching a wandering eye. "Seen a glyph like this?" I asked, activating my wrist console and projecting the image Kithel had sent us. The trader squinted, his expression shifting from curiosity to contemplation. "Ah, now that's a rare sight," he mused, rubbing his chin. not something you see every day. My interest piqued. What do you know about it? Only that it's tied to an ancient order, he said, lowering his voice as if sharing a secret. The Celestial Conclave. They're rumored to hold knowledge that predates most known civilizations. The word stirred a memory, something I had read in a dusty tome during my academy days. The Conclave was whispered to be the keepers of stellar mysteries, a myth shrouded in layers of legend. And where can I find them? I pressed, heart racing at the prospect of another adventure. Not easy, he cautioned, eyes glinting. They're elusive, but there's a place Quixote's reach, a station lost in the nebula of shifting stars. That's where their traces last emerged. I thanked him and headed back to inform Kyra, my mind already plotting our course. But the trader's words echoed, a melody threading through my ever-complicated universe. As I returned, Kyra was just finishing up with the repairs, wiping grease from her hands. "Our girl's in top shape again," she announced proudly. "Find anything useful?" "More than I bargained for," I replied, recounting the trader's tale. "We're heading to Quixote's Reach." She raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Chasing myths now, are we?" "Seems like the logical next step," I grinned. "Besides, who could resist the allure of the unknown?" Our journey took us deep into the nebula, the vibrant colors of cosmic dust swirling around us like a living canvas. The stars seemed to twinkle with mischievous delight as we navigated the shifting landscape. Quixote's Reach appeared through the haze, a station nestled within the nebula's embrace, its outline flickering like a mirage. As we approached, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were stepping into a dream. The station was an echo of forgotten grandeur, its architecture a blend of styles that spoke of ancient elegance and modern necessity. The corridors were lined with murals depicting celestial phenomena, their beauty marred by age but still breathtaking in their artistry. As we explored, whispers of the conclave permeated the air, an undercurrent of legend that seemed to pulse through every corridor. It was here, among the ancient halls, that the glyph found its kin, its meaning revealed in fragments of forgotten wisdom. But the station held more than just answers. It harbored secrets, shadows of those who sought the conclave's knowledge for darker purposes. Their presence was a tangible threat, lurking at the edges of perception. "Feels like we're not alone," Kyra noted, her voice barely a whisper as we ducked into an alcove, wary of the shadows that seemed to stalk us. "We never are," I replied, my gaze scanning the dimly lit passage. "But something tells me we're close." With a swift nod, we pressed on, the pull of the glyph guiding us toward the heart of Quixote's Reach. The path wound through chambers and corridors, each turn revealing new facets of the station's history. It was in the heart of the station, within a magnificent hall adorned with celestial motifs, that we found the clues we sought. The glyph's significance was laid bare, a map of stars leading to a location, a place where the conclave's last ritual had taken place. "This is it," I said, excitement bubbling up as I traced the constellations on the wall. "The key to the conclave's knowledge." But before we could celebrate, the shadows moved, revealing figures cloaked in darkness. Their intentions were clear, and their weapons glinted with malice. "Looks like we've got company," Kyra said, drawing her blaster with practiced ease. "Let's give them a warm welcome," I replied, adrenaline surging as we faced off against our adversaries, the wisdom of ages hanging in the balance. As the echoes of battle rang out in the ancient hall, the nebula outside shimmered with its own cosmic dance, bearing silent witness to the unfolding saga. In that instant, I knew this was more than just another adventure. It was the beginning of a journey that would redefine our understanding of the universe, a path that would challenge everything we believed to be true. And as the stars watched over us, I felt certain that whatever lay ahead, we would face it together, driven by the eternal pull of curiosity and the indomitable spirit that had brought us this far. Part 4: The Shifting Sands. The confrontation in the grand hall of Quixote's Reach echoed like a thunderstorm trapped in a bottle, the shadows twisting as our adversaries circled. They moved with the predatory grace of those accustomed to getting what they wanted, eyes glinting with the promise of violence. "Who are these guys?" Kyra muttered, her blaster at the ready, the tension palpable between the columns adorned with ancient solar motifs. "Looks like they're here for the same reason we are," I replied, trying to gauge their intentions through the dim light. The station's ethereal glow cast our opponents in a surreal light, emphasizing the stakes at hand. A voice emerged from the darkness, smooth and authoritative. "Hand over the map," it commanded, as if that was a reasonable thing to ask in the middle of a standoff. I had a feeling this wasn't a negotiation but rather an ultimatum. "Sorry," I quipped, shifting my stance to keep both eyes on them, "but this treasure hunt's got my name on it." As if choreographed by unseen forces, the room erupted into action. Our assailants moved with precision, their laser fire lighting up the hall in staccato bursts of red and blue. Kyra and I returned fire, dodging between the weathered columns, the air filled with the acrid scent of discharged energy and the echoes of conflict. The hall's architecture became our ally, the pillars and alcoves providing cover as we maneuvered, the centuries-old stonework absorbing the brunt of the attack. I felt the thrill of the chase, the adrenaline sharpening my senses. But just as it seemed like the tide was turning in our favor, one of the attackers broke off, sprinting toward a control panel at the far end of the hall. I realized their intention too late, a self-destruct sequence for the station. "Kyra, stop them," I shouted over the noise, my heart dropping like a lead weight. She nodded, already moving, her aim true as her blaster sent a bolt of energy across the room. The figure staggered but reached the panel, slamming a fist down on its surface. A siren wailed, a haunting dirge that reverberated through the station. The walls shivered, the ground beneath our feet rumbling with the promise of impending doom. "Time to go," Kyra yelled, urgency pushing us into motion. We sprinted for the exit, adrenaline driving us forward with reckless speed. The station trembled, the murals blurring past in a rush of motion, as if the very fabric of Quixote's Reach was unraveling. Behind us, the shadows were left to face the consequences of their own desperation, the echoes of their pursuit fading into the cacophony of collapsing metal and stone. As we neared the docking bay, the Starbound Adventurer came into view, and not a moment too soon. The station's infrastructure groaned, a symphony of stress and collapse that signaled its imminent destruction. "Punch it," I commanded, diving into the cockpit and firing up the engines with a flick of a switch. The ship roared to life, responding like a loyal steed to its rider's call. Kyra was already at the navigation console, plotting a course out of the nebula, her fingers dancing over the keys with deft precision. "Hold on tight," she warned, the thrill of escape in her voice. We launched from the bay, the ship trembling as we broke through the station's disintegrating hull. For a heartbeat, the universe held its breath, and then we were clear, the nebula's swirling colors embracing us as we soared into the void. I looked back just in time to see Quixote's Reach implode, a brilliant cascade of light and debris that faded into the cosmos. It was a reminder of the price of knowledge, the cost of secrets held too tightly. As the nebula receded behind us, the silence of space enveloped us like a comforting shroud. The stars twinkled with an almost conspiratorial gleam, as if sharing in our victory, in our survival. "Well, that was invigorating," Kyra said, her wry grin breaking the tension that had gripped us. "Nothing like a good old-fashioned station explosion to get the heart pumping." I chuckled, the sound rich with relief and camaraderie. "You have a knack for understatement." With the immediate danger behind us, we turned our attention to the map we had secured, a series of star coordinates and ancient runic symbols that shimmered with a promise of forgotten truths. It pointed to a location far beyond known space, a place where the celestial conclave's final ritual had left its mark. "Looks like we've got our next destination," I said, feeling the familiar stirrings of adventure in my blood, ready to dive deeper into the unknown. Kyra leaned back in her chair, eyes twinkling with shared excitement. "Lead the way, Captain. I've got your back." With a shared nod, we set our course for the far reaches of the galaxy, the stars ahead a canvas of possibilities. Together, we would chase the mysteries of the celestial conclave, unraveling the secrets woven into the very fabric of the universe. As the Starbound Adventurer cruised through the starlit expanse, I felt a profound sense of purpose. The path ahead was uncertain, fraught with challenges and revelations, but with Kyra by my side, I knew we were ready for whatever lay beyond the horizon. The universe was vast, its wonders endless, and in its heart we would find our place, two souls drawn together by the timeless call of the cosmos. Part 5: The Luminous Path. The Starbound Adventurer cruised through the infinite expanse, the hum of its engines a familiar companion as we navigated the uncharted paths beyond the known galaxy. The coordinates from the map guided us onward, a shining beacon amidst the stars. As the nebulous trail began to clear, what lay ahead was nothing short of breathtaking, a celestial marvel known as the Luminous Path, a cosmic river of brilliant light threading through the darkness. It was here, at the edge of the universe itself, that the trail came to an end. Kyra stared at the spectacle, her eyes wide with awe. "It's like the galaxy spilled its secrets across the sky," she murmured, her voice tinged with reverence. I nodded, sharing her wonder. The path shimmered, a living tapestry of radiant colors flowing with a gentle grace that belied the power within. It was as if the universe had opened a window into its soul, inviting us to glimpse what lay beyond. "Whatever the conclave left here must be something extraordinary," I said, setting our course along the brilliant stream. "If they performed their last ritual here, we might find answers that have eluded us for so long." As we ventured deeper, the ship seemed to resonate with the energy of the path, the instruments humming with a frequency that felt both alien and familiar. It was a symphony of light and sound that tugged at the edges of perception, as if trying to communicate a language lost to time. A series of glyphs flickered on the console, patterns that matched those on the map. They seemed to dance across the screen, forming a sequence that pointed us toward the heart of the path. "Looks like someone wants us to follow," Kyra said, a hint of excitement in her tone. "But the question is who?" I shared her anticipation, the thrill of the chase mingling with a deeper sense of purpose. There was an intelligence at work here, a guiding hand that hinted at the conclave's enduring influence. As we followed the glyphs, the vibrant hues of the path enveloped us, casting the cockpit in a kaleidoscope of colors. The ship responded to the fluctuations of the energy stream, its systems adjusting almost instinctively to the ebb and flow of the cosmic current. Suddenly, the path widened into an expansive chamber, a celestial grotto where the light coalesced into a shimmering vortex. At its center floated a structure of transparent crystal, an otherworldly temple suspended in the brilliance. "This has got to be it," I breathed, unable to tear my gaze away from the mesmerizing sight. The conclave's last sanctuary. As we approached, a gentle force took hold, guiding us into a docking bay that glowed with welcoming light. The ship settled with an almost reverent hush, the engines powering down with a soft purr. The airlock opened, revealing a corridor lined with luminescent panels that pulsed in time with the energy of the path. It was a place of serene beauty, imbued with an aura of ancient wisdom. "Well, let's see what treasures the conclave left behind," Kyra said, stepping into the corridor with a sense of awe. We moved through the crystalline halls, each step revealing new wonders, intricate carvings that told stories of the stars, murals depicting the birth of galaxies, and sculptures that captured the essence of time itself. At the heart of the temple lay a chamber bathed in golden light. In its center stood a plinth, upon which rested an object of exquisite design, an artifact unlike any we had seen, its surface etched with an intricate lattice of runes. The moment I laid eyes on it, I felt a profound connection, as if the artifact was reaching out to me across the eons. I approached it with a mixture of reverence and curiosity, my hand hovering above its surface. As my fingers touched the artifact, a surge of energy coursed through me, a flood of visions and sensations that defied description. It was as if the artifact held the memories of the universe, a tapestry of knowledge woven into its very being. Beside me, Kyra watched with wide eyes, her own expression a mirror of my wonder. "Cal, this is incredible," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. But before we could delve deeper, the tranquility of the chamber was shattered by an urgent warning from the ship's sensors, a proximity alert that set my heart racing. "Unscheduled visitors," I said, cursing under my breath. "Looks like word travels fast." We raced back toward the ship, the corridors echoing with our footsteps as the temple's serenity gave way to the urgency of our escape. Whoever had followed us here was closing in fast. As we boarded the Starbound Adventurer, the energy of the path flared with renewed intensity, as if granting us a final farewell. The ship sprang to life, its systems responding with an eager hum. "What now?" Kyra asked, her fingers flying over the controls as the pursuing vessels appeared on the sensors. I glanced at the artifact. No. W nestled safely in the ship's hold. "We'll have to use the path," I replied, my mind racing with possibilities. "Let's see if this place has more surprises in store." With a deft maneuver, I guided the ship into the heart of the luminous path. The energy enveloped us, the vibrant light cascading around the hull as the pursuing vessels struggled to adjust to the shifting currents. The path was alive with motion, the colors swirling in a dance of cosmic beauty that defied understanding. It was a force that responded to our presence, twisting and weaving to our will. As we navigated the currents, the pursuing ships faltered, their attempts to follow thwarted by the path's unpredictable nature. It was as if the path itself was protecting its ancient secrets, and by extension, us. Finally, as we reached the end of the path, the pursuing vessels vanished into the distance, their forms swallowed by the expansive void. I let out a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding, the adrenaline of the chase giving way to a deep sense of relief. "Looks like the path likes us," I said with a grin, feeling the weight of our discovery settle over me. Kyra laughed, a sound rich with shared victory. "I think the universe has taken a liking to your reckless charm, Captain." As we drifted through the starlit expanse, the artifact's presence a comforting weight in the hold, I felt a burgeoning sense of purpose. The mysteries of the conclave had only just begun to unfold, and with Kyra by my side, I knew we were ready for whatever lay ahead. Together we would continue our quest, guided by the wisdom of the stars and the light of the path. The universe was vast, its wonders infinite, and our journey was far from over. Part 6: Echoes of the Conclave. With the celestial wonder of the luminous path behind us, the Starbound Adventurer sailed into the quieter expanse of the starry void. The artifact nestled in our hold seemed to hum with a quiet potential, its presence a constant reminder of the conclave's enigmatic legacy. Our destination was a remote stellar observatory known as Velinar's Eye, a listening post stationed at the edge of a dying star's light. It was here that the artifact's secrets might be unraveled if the universe favored our quest. Kyra leaned back in her chair, eyes fixed on the digital map that charted our course. "So, what's the plan, Captain? We show up with an ancient relic and hope they have a handbook on conclave artifacts." Her humor lightened the weight of our uncertainty. "Something like that," I replied, trying to mask my own anticipation with a veneer of casual confidence. "Velinar's Eye is the best chance we have at decoding this thing. They've got specialists there who understand the language of the cosmos." As we approached the observatory, its silhouette emerged against the backdrop of the ancient star, its structure a sprawl of delicate towers and dish arrays reaching like fingers toward the heavens. It was a place of quiet contemplation, a sentinel watching over the cosmic ballet. Our arrival was met with a flurry of communication. The station's chief, an eccentric astrophysicist named Dr. Tannies, greeted us with a mix of skepticism and intrigue. "You say you have a conclave artifact?" she asked, her voice carried with a hint of disbelief over the comms. "That's right," I confirmed, the artifact's significance lending weight to my words. "And we could use your expertise." Dr. Tannies sighed, a sound that seemed to carry the weight of countless late-night research hours. "Bring it in. Let's see what the stars have to say." Docked at the observatory, we carried the artifact through gleaming corridors filled with the hum of data streams and the distant whir of telescopes adjusting their gaze to the stars. The station was alive with the pulse of discovery. In a chamber lined with screens displaying cosmic phenomena, Dr. Tannies awaited us, her eyes alight with curiosity. She was a slight woman, dwarfed by her oversized lab coat, but there was an intensity in her gaze that spoke of a mind deeply in tune with the universe. As we placed the artifact on a central platform, its surface caught the ambient light, patterns rippling like water disturbed by a breeze. Dr. Tannies approached with a reverence usually reserved for sacred texts. "This is extraordinary," she breathed, her fingers tracing the runes with practiced familiarity. "I've seen references to conclave artifacts but never expected to encounter one directly." As she began her analysis, the room filled with holographic projections of star charts and mathematical formulas. The artifact's runes interacted with the data, forming patterns that danced with cosmic precision. Kyra watched, fascinated. "Feels like we're part of something bigger," she mused, "like seeing the universe write its own story." "That's because we are," I replied, a sense of belonging warming the edges of my soul. The conclave's influence was as vast as the stars, their knowledge echoing across the eons, and we were now threads in that grand tapestry. The screens lit up with cascading data, a flow of information too vast for any one mind to grasp. Dr. Tannies worked with a fervor matched only by the artifact's silent dialogue with the cosmos. Then, as if reaching a crescendo, the projections focused into a singular image, coordinates, set against the backdrop of an unfamiliar star cluster. "This is it," Dr. Tannies announced, her voice tinged with excitement. "A location encoded within the artifact, potentially the site of one of the Conclave's last great gatherings." The thrill of discovery shivered through me, the universe opening yet another door just as we crossed a threshold. But our celebration was cut short by the observatory's alert systems flaring to life. The warning klaxons echoed through the station, a stark reminder that our journey was watched by those who coveted the secrets we sought. Kyra's hand moved instinctively to her blaster. "Looks like we've got more uninvited guests," she said, scanning the station's readouts. Outside, a small fleet of ships emerged from the shadow of the dying star, their aggressive posture unmistakable even against the fading light. They bore no official markings, an anonymous threat in an already perilous galaxy. "We'll hold them off as long as we can," Dr. Tannies said, her determination unwavering. "Use this time to escape. The artifact must not fall into the wrong hands." As the observatory scrambled its defenses, we rushed back to the Starbound Adventurer asterisk, the artifact's mystery now entwined with our fate. The ship roared to life, engines thrumming with a familiar power as we undocked, navigating through the chaos unfolding around us. The observatory's defenses engaged, beams of energy tracing arcs across the void. "Heading for the new coordinates?" Kyra asked, already anticipating my answer. "Absolutely," I replied, my grip steady on the controls. "But first, let's shake our new friends." We dove through the surrounding chaos, the observatory's light show serving as both a distraction and a shield. Our pursuers followed, their ships fast and relentless. But we had an advantage, the artifact's coordinates, which led us toward a gravitational anomaly that danced on the edge of known physics. With a deft maneuver, I steered us closer to the anomaly, the ship's systems adjusting to the gravitational flux. Our pursuers hesitated, wary of the unknown terrain. "Hold on," I warned, eyes focused on the displays. "This could get bumpy." We plunged into the anomaly's embrace, the ship shuddering as space distorted around us. The pursuers faltered, caught in the gravitational eddies that swirled across their path. Emerging on the other side, we left them behind, the expanse of space opening once more beyond the anomaly's clutch. As the dust settled, the new coordinates shimmered on our star map, a promise of further mysteries to unravel. Beyond them lay what the Conclave had concealed, and with it, the possibility of truths that might reshape our understanding of the universe. "Another close call," Kyra said, her voice tinged with relief and excitement. "Wouldn't have it any other way," I replied, the weight of our discovery settling over me with a mix of trepidation and thrill. Together we set our course for the unknown, the cosmos welcoming our return with open arms. The journey ahead was uncertain, but with each step, the universe revealed a little more of its infinite self. As the stars stretched out before us, I felt a deep sense of connection to the grand tapestry of time and space, the story of the Conclave now entwined with our own. And as the asterisk Starbound Adventurer soared into the void, I knew that our greatest discoveries were still to come. Part 7. The Veiled Sanctuary. The asterisk Starbound Adventurer cut through the tapestry of stars with a quiet grace, the artifact's coordinates guiding us toward the heart of a stellar nursery, a cosmic cradle where new worlds were born in the arms of swirling nebulae. Here, the stars seemed to blink with newborn curiosity, their light a promise of life yet to be realized. Kyra sat beside me in the cockpit, her gaze fixed on the display. "I almost expect to see the universe knitting itself together out there," she said, her voice filled with wonder. "Well, if we stumble upon the cosmic loom, "I'll make sure to get some knitting lessons," I replied, my own mind spinning with the possibilities of what we might find. The coordinates led us deeper into the nebula, where the stardust thickened and the light danced in spectral waves. It was a realm of endless creation, the very air tingling with the possibilities of what could be. As we approached the destination, a structure began to emerge from the glowing haze, an enigmatic construct nestled within the nebula's embrace. It was unlike anything we had encountered before, its architecture a blend of organic shapes and crystalline formations. It seemed to pulse with life, as if the very essence of the stars had shaped it. "This has to be it," Kyra said, the awe in her voice unmistakable. "The last refuge of the conclave." We docked alongside the structure, the connection seamless as if it had been waiting for us all along. The airlock cycled open with a soft hiss, welcoming us into a world shaped by forces both ancient and timeless. The interior of the sanctuary was a revelation, a harmonious blend of nature and technology, where luminous vines intertwined with circuitry across the walls, casting a gentle glow that bathed the halls in warmth. It was a place that breathed with the rhythm of the cosmos. "Feels like we stepped into the heart of a star," I said, my voice reverent in the profound silence. As we ventured deeper, the corridors opened into a vast chamber, its domed ceiling a kaleidoscope of color, reflecting the nebula's light. In the center stood a dais, upon which rested a device of intricate design, a construct of silver and crystal that seemed to hum with the power of the stars. Approaching the dais, I felt a resonance with the artifact we had carried. It responded to the presence of its counterpart, the energies intertwining in a symphony of light. It was as if the two artifacts were parts of a greater whole, a key to unlocking the sanctuary's secrets. Kyra watched, her eyes shining with the reflection of the swirling light. "This is incredible, Cal. Whatever the conclave left here, it's not just knowledge, it's something alive." As the two artifacts connected, a holographic interface sprang to life, projecting a map of the galaxy overlaid with shimmering lines of data. It was a network of energy pathways, a celestial web that linked the stars in a dance of cosmic harmony. Dr. Tannis's voice echoed in my mind, her words a distant memory. "The conclave's legacy is not just in artifacts, but in the very fabric of the universe. They understood the music of the spheres." The realization was both humbling and exhilarating. We were standing at the threshold of a revelation that could alter humanity's understanding of the cosmos. But before we could explore further, a ripple of energy surged through the sanctuary, its power palpable. The structure itself seemed to shudder, as if awakened by our presence. "What's happening?" Kyra asked, her gaze darting to the glowing walls. The answer came in the form of a voice, smooth and resonant, echoing through the chamber. "Welcome, seekers of the light, you stand at the heart of the conclave's vision." A figure materialized within the holographic projection, a luminous being composed of light and shadow, an echo of the conclave's wisdom, preserved within the sanctuary's walls. "We are the custodians of the celestial harmony," the figure continued, its presence commanding and serene. "And now, you too are part of the eternal symphony." As the being spoke, the sanctuary's walls began to pulse with a rhythm that resonated deep within our souls. It was a call to action, a plea for understanding that transcended the limits of language. "But why us?" I asked, the enormity of the situation settling over me. "Why reveal this now?" "Because the time has come for the harmony to be restored," the figure replied, its gaze piercing and knowing. "The balance of the cosmos is threatened, and only those who understand the music can help set it right." The task seemed insurmountable, yet the clarity of purpose was undeniable. We had become part of a saga that stretched back through the annals of time, a thread in the tapestry woven by the conclave. Kyra stepped closer, her resolve as bright as the starlight that bathed the chamber. "Then tell us what we need to do," she said, her voice unwavering. The figure's light intensified, casting new patterns across the chamber's walls. "You must journey to the sacred nodes where the threads of energy converge. It is there that the harmony must be restored." A map unfolded before us, marking the locations of these nodes, each one a nexus of energy waiting to be rekindled. "These places," I whispered, recognizing some of the locations as fabled myths and others as uncharted territories. "They're scattered across the galaxy." "Indeed," the figure acknowledged, "but with your understanding and the artifacts you carry, the path will reveal itself." With a final surge of energy, the figure faded, leaving us alone in the vast chamber, the weight of the conclave's mission settling upon our shoulders. Together we faced the journey ahead, the stars our steadfast companions and the sanctuary a beacon of hope in the vastness of space. The unknown lay before us, ripe with both danger and promise, but for the first time we understood our place within the grand design. As we set our course for the first node, the universe seemed to whisper its secrets, the music of the spheres guiding our steps. And in the heart of the cosmic symphony, we would find our destiny. Part 8: The Celestial Chord. As the Starbound Adventurer soared through the vast sea of stars, the weight of our mission pressed upon us with an urgency that felt almost tangible. The coordinates of the sacred nodes shimmered on our display, each one a beacon calling out across the cosmos. Our first stop lay in the heart of a distant star system known as Lurel's Veil, a cluster of worlds whose orbits formed a celestial tapestry wreathed in the light of 7 suns. It was said to be a place where the lines between reality and myth blurred, where the echoes of the conclave still whispered through the winds. Kyra piloted the ship with deft precision, her gaze focused yet dreamy as the swirling colors of space unfolded before us. "If the stories are true, Lurel's Veil is a place where the universe likes to show off," she remarked, a smile tugging at the corners of her lips. "Nothing like a galactic showcase to start our quest," I replied, my own excitement tempered by the knowledge of what lay ahead. "Let's hope the Veil is as welcoming as it is beautiful." The journey took us deeper into the cluster, the light of the 7 suns casting shifting shadows across our path. As we approached, the Veil appeared as a celestial garden, planets and moons scattered like jewels, each one adorned with its own unique charm. Our destination was the 4th planet, a lush world of emerald forests and sapphire oceans, its surface dotted with crystalline structures that glistened in the sunlight. It was here that the first node awaited, its presence a gentle hum in the symphony of the system. We descended through the planet's atmosphere, the air thick with a heady perfume of flora and the distant chorus of alien wildlife. The landing site lay near one of the crystalline structures, its form reminiscent of the architecture of the sanctuary. As the ship touched down, a sense of anticipation filled the air, as if the very planet held its breath in expectation of our arrival. Kyra and I disembarked, the air rich with the scent of life and the promise of discovery. The node's energy pulsed in time with the rhythm of the world, a heartbeat that resonated through the ground beneath our feet. The crystalline structure loomed above us, its surface alive with shifting patterns of light. It was a marvel of alien engineering, a monument to the conclave's understanding of the universe. Approaching the structure, I felt the artifact respond, its presence a comforting weight in my grasp. With each step, the resonance grew stronger, the harmony of the node calling out to its counterpart. "This is it," Kyra said, her voice barely above a whisper. "The first node." As we reached the base of the structure, a control panel flickered to life, its holographic display inviting us to begin the process of activation. The interface was intuitive, a testament to the Conclave's foresight. Together, we worked to align the artifact with the node, the energies merging in a cascade of light and sound. It was a symphony of cosmic proportions, the music of the spheres made manifest. But as the harmony reached its crescendo, a shadow loomed over the clearing, a presence that set my instincts on edge. I turned to see a figure emerging from the tree line, their form draped in a cloak of shifting colors that blended with the surroundings. "Guests," Kyra murmured, her hand hovering near her blaster, eyes wary. The figure halted at the edge of the clearing, raising a hand in a gesture of peace. "I mean you no harm," they said, their voice a melodic blend of tones that echoed through the air. "I am a guardian of the veil." Their presence was both calming and unsettling, an embodiment of the harmony the node sought to restore. But there was a gravity to their words that hinted at a deeper knowledge. "What do you know of the nodes?" I asked, curiosity and caution warring within me. The guardian inclined their head, a gesture of acknowledgement. "The nodes are the lifeblood of the universe's harmony," they said. "They must be rekindled, for the balance is fragile and the dissonance grows." Their words resonated with the urgency of our mission, a confirmation of the task set before us by the sanctuary's echo. "And you're here to help?" Kyra asked, her posture relaxing slightly. "To guide and to witness," the guardian replied, their gaze steady. "The path is perilous and the forces of chaos will seek to oppose you, but the harmony must endure." With a final glance at the node, the guardian withdrew, their form fading back into the embrace of the forest, leaving us alone once more at the heart of the veil. The node's activation was complete, the harmony restored to this corner of the cosmos. The air thrummed with the energy of the renewed balance, a testament to the Conclave's enduring legacy. We returned to the ship, the artifact now aglow with the light of the node, its presence a beacon guiding us to the next destination. As we ascend through the planet's atmosphere, the veil spread out below us, its beauty a reminder of the wonders that lay within the universe's embrace. "One down," Kyra said, her eyes alight with determination, "and a whole galaxy to go." I nodded, the weight of our mission settling comfortably on my shoulders. We're just getting started. With the first node rekindled, the path ahead lay waiting, each step a journey deeper into the heart of the celestial harmony. Together, we would weave our own melody into the universe's song, the echoes of the conclave guiding our way. As we set our course for the next node, the stars sang their welcome, the celestial symphony ever patient, ever present, and our steadfast companion in the quest to restore the music of the spheres. Part 9, Harbingers of the Abyss. The Starbound Adventurer drifted through the astral sea, the glow of Lurel's veil fading into the distance as we set a course for the next node in our celestial quest. The universe seemed to hold its breath, the stars whispering secrets only the bold dared to pursue. Our next destination was a system known as the Abyssal Conflux, a region steeped in cosmic mystery and feared for its unpredictable gravitational anomalies. The charts depicted it as a warren of warped space, a place where light bent to the whims of unseen forces and the fabric of time itself seemed to ripple like water. Kyra glanced at the display, her brow furrowed in contemplation. "You know, when you promised adventure, I didn't expect a death wish," she teased, though her eyes sparkled with the thrill of the unknown. I aim to please, I replied, my own anticipation tempered with a healthy respect for the dangers that awaited us. And if the conclave chose this place for a node, there must be a reason. As we approached the outer limits of the conflux, the ship's sensors began to fluctuate, a gentle reminder of the region's reputation. The stars appeared to dance around us, their positions shifting in a cosmic ballet that defied logic. Navigating through the swirling currents of space required patience and precision, the ship responding with a delicate touch to each fluctuation in the gravitational tides. It felt as though we were threading a needle through the very heart of the universe. The node's coordinates led us to a rogue planet adrift on the cosmic winds, a solitary world surrounded by the swirling maelstrom of the conflux. Its surface was a tapestry of jagged peaks and chasms, a landscape carved by the forces that swept through this realm. We circled the planet, searching for a suitable landing site amidst the chaotic terrain. Finally, we touched down on a plateau that overlooked the roiling expanse below, the ship settling with the graceful poise of a dancer at the end of a performance. The air outside was charged with a palpable energy, the remnants of the conflux's influence seeping into every crevice. As we disembarked, the ground beneath our feet seemed to hum with anticipation, the node's presence a beacon amidst the chaos. "Feels like the planet's alive," Kyra remarked, her gaze sweeping across the horizon. "In a way it is," I replied, eyes fixed on the node's location. "This place is a testament to the universe's raw power, the kind of power the conclave sought to harness." The node was nestled within a craggy outcrop, its form a stark contrast to the untamed wilderness around it. Like the previous node, it pulsed with the rhythm of the cosmos, a heart beating in time with the conflux's chaotic dance. As we approached, the artifact in my possession responded once more, its energy reaching out to the node in a symphony of light and sound. The activation process began, the harmony seeking to restore balance to this tempestuous region. But as the node's energy surged, a shadow passed over us, a chill seeping into the air. I looked up to see a fleet of ships emerging from the swirling mists, their forms stark against the turbulent sky. Kyra's hand went to her blaster, her expression tense. "Looks like we've got company." The ships bore the markings of the Harbingers, a notorious band of marauders known for their ruthlessness and cunning. Their arrival could mean only one thing: they sought the power of the nodes for themselves. As the lead ship descended, a figure emerged, the Harbinger's leader, a woman with eyes like cold steel and a smile that promised destruction. "I knew someone would come for the nodes," she called out, her voice carrying over the cacophony of the conflux. "But I didn't expect it to be you." "And you are?" I asked, stalling for time as I assessed the situation. She laughed, a sound devoid of warmth. "Names don't matter when the universe is at stake. Hand over the artifact and I might consider letting you live." The certainty of her words hung in the air, a stark reminder of the cost of failure. But I wouldn't allow the nodes to fall into the wrong hands. "We can't do that," I replied, my tone firm. "The nodes are meant to restore balance, not to be wielded as weapons." She shook her head, pity and frustration warring in her eyes. "Then you've chosen your fate." As her troops advanced, a plan formed in my mind, half desperate and half inspired. "Kyra, we need to finish the activation," I said, my voice low and urgent. She nodded, understanding dawning in her eyes. "Buy you some time." "Exactly," I replied, knowing that each second counted. With unspoken agreement, Kyra moved to intercept the Harbingers, her blaster a beacon of defiance against the encroaching shadows. Meanwhile, I turned my attention back to the node, willing it to respond. The node's energy pulsed in time with the artifact, a crescendo of power built within the confines of the conflux. The ground trembled with the force of its awakening, the air alive with the crackle of raw potential. Just as the harbingers closed in, the node reached its apex, the harmony exploding outward in a wave of light that swept across the plateau. The energy washed over the harbingers, their ships faltering as the chaotic forces of the conflux reasserted themselves. In that moment, the universe wielded its own form of justice, the harbingers swept away by the very power they sought to control. As the light faded, the node stood resplendent, its harmony restored to the abyssal conflux. The air was still, the chaos quelled by the music of the spheres. Kyra rejoined me, her expression a mix of relief and triumph. "Well, that was close," she said, a wry smile on her lips. "Too close," I agreed, grateful for her courage and quick thinking. With the second node rekindled, our path was clear, onward to the next, guided by the echoes of the conclave and the rhythm of the universe. As the Starbound Adventurer lifted off from the rogue planet, the conflux's shifting tides a distant memory, I couldn't help but reflect on the challenges yet to come. The journey was fraught with danger, but it was a path we were destined to walk. Together, we would weave the harmony anew, the stars our steadfast companions in the quest to restore balance to the cosmos. And as we set our course for the next node, I felt a deep sense of purpose, the universe's symphony guiding our every step. Part 10, The Celestial Labyrinth Asterisk. With the abyssal conflux fading into the stardust behind us, the asterisk Starbound Adventurer charted a course for the next node, a location whose coordinates led us to the heart of an ancient star cluster known as the Celestial Labyrinth. The path ahead shimmered with potential, the universe whispering secrets that lay just beyond our reach. The labyrinth was a place wrapped in layers of myth and legend, a cluster of stars whose labyrinthine corridors of cosmic dust and gravity fields formed an intricate maze. Few dared to venture within its depths, where the very fabric of space seemed to twist upon itself. Kyra glanced at the navigational readout, a contemplative look in her eyes. "I'm starting to think the conclave had a taste for the dramatic," she said, a hint of amusement in her voice. "That or they really didn't want anyone following their breadcrumbs," I replied, matching her tone with a grin. "But we've got the map and a flair for the dramatic ourselves." As we approached the labyrinth, the stars seemed to shimmer with anticipation, the light trembling as if caught in the dance of an unseen ballet. The entrance to the maze loomed ahead, a swirling portal of light and shadow that beckoned us into its embrace. Navigating the labyrinth required a delicate touch, the ship's sensors attuned to the slightest shifts in the spatial currents. It was a place where time and distance blurred, where the usual rules of physics gave way to the domain of the extraordinary. The corridors of the labyrinth opened before us, a tapestry of light and color that defied description. Stars glimmered like jewels set within the velvet expanse, their light painting patterns across the cockpit that seemed to pulse with life. "Looks like we've got our work cut out for us," Kyra murmured, her eyes wide with wonder as we wove through the cosmic pathways. "This place is a maze." "A beautiful one," I agreed, captivated by the kaleidoscope of starlight that surrounded us. The node's coordinates led us deeper into the labyrinth, each turn revealing new facets of the celestial expanse. The path was a journey of discovery, the universe unfolding its secrets with every twist and turn. As we neared the node's location, the labyrinth's corridors opened into a vast chamber, its walls lined with crystalline formations that glimmered with an inner light. At its center stood the node, its form a radiant beacon amidst the maze. The node pulsed with the rhythm of the labyrinth, its energy resonating in harmony with the cosmic symphony around it. The artifact in my possession responded in kind, its light a beacon that reached out to complete the circuit. But as we prepared to activate the node, the labyrinth revealed yet another layer of its mystery, a presence that had been lying in wait, hidden amidst the fractured light. A figure emerged from the shadows, their form wreathed in the shimmering glow of the crystalline walls. They moved with a deliberate grace, their eyes reflecting the light of the stars. "You've come far, seekers," they said, their voice a melody that echoed through the chamber. But the labyrinth guards its secrets closely. The figure was a guardian of the labyrinth, their presence both formidable and ethereal. There was an ancient wisdom in their gaze, a knowledge that spanned the eons. Kyra's hand rested near her blaster, her expression a careful blend of caution and curiosity. "We're here to restore the harmony," she said, her words carrying the weight of our mission. The guardian regarded us with a thoughtful silence, their demeanor shifting from guarded to contemplative. "The harmony of the labyrinth has been disturbed," they acknowledged. "But the nodes are not mere tools, they are keys to understanding." Their words resonated with the echoes of the conclave's teachings, a reminder of the path we had chosen to walk. To restore the nodes was not only to rekindle their power, but to honor the legacy of those who came before us. "We seek to understand," I said, my voice steady and sincere, "to weave the harmony anew." The guardian studied us for a moment longer before nodding, a gesture of acceptance. "Then let the labyrinth guide you." Under their watchful gaze, we continued the activation process, the artifact's energy merging with the node S in a symphony of light. The harmony flowed through the chamber, the resonance restoring the balance to the labyrinth's intricate weave. As the node's power reached its zenith, the guardian raised their hand, a gesture that summoned a vision of the labyrinth's heart, a luminous map that revealed the true nature of the celestial maze. "The labyrinth is a mirror of the cosmos," the guardian explained, their voice filled with reverence. "A reflection of the universe's design, a testament to the conclave's wisdom." The realization was both humbling and exhilarating. We were part of a grand tapestry, a harmony that stretched across the stars, binding the galaxy in a dance as old as time. With the node rekindled, the labyrinth's corridors shimmered with renewed vitality, the harmonious energy flowing through its veins. The stars sang their songs anew, the celestial symphony vibrant and whole. As we prepared to depart, the guardian offered a final piece of guidance. "The path will not be easy, but the light of the nodes will guide you. Trust in the music of the spheres." We ascended through the labyrinth's corridors, the cosmic pathways unfolding before us with a newfound clarity. The universe seemed to welcome us back into its embrace, the light of the stars a beacon that guided our way. With two nodes rekindled and the labyrinth's secrets unveiled, our journey continued, the quest to restore the harmony ever present in our hearts. Together, we would navigate the celestial maze, the stars our steadfast companions in the symphony of the universe. As the Starbound Adventurer set its course for the next node, I felt a deep sense of peace, the music of the spheres a constant presence in our lives. The journey was far from over, but with each step, we moved closer to understanding the true nature of the cosmos and our place within its vast expanse.